Warriors, who were thumped 5-0 to Plateau United, dropped to 9th position with 5 points from 8 games. Nasarawa United have been one of the worst teams in terms of record this season. They've gotten just 4 points. 1 win, 1 draw, and 6 massive losses. Olobi Stars top of Group B with 16 points. Abia Warriors second, 13 points. Rivers United third with 13 points. Sunshine Stars fourth with 12 points. Doma United fifth with 12 points. Niger Tornado sixth with 9 points. Enugu Rangers seventh with 8. Wiki Tourists 8 with 8 points. To Dakara drop to 9th despite the win on Wednesday. They now sit 9th with 7 points. And Bayelsa United dropped to rock bottom with 6 points. On Match Day 9 returns later this particular weekend. El Kanemi Warriors take on Kwara United. Nasarawa United welcome Remo Stars. Abia Warriors will take on Rivers United. Gombe United take on Plateau United. Bendel take on Eyimba. Shooting Stars welcome Akwa United. Lobi Stars against Doma. Sunshine Stars against Wiki Tourists. Niger Tornadoes take on Dakara. And Bayelsa United will take on Enugu Rangers. Nigeria coach Randy Wardrum says his side's opening day defeat Mexico at the Revelation Cup tournament is another learning curve. In quote, for the 9-time African champions, the Falcons lost by a goal to nil to Mexico after a late goal from Kiana Palacios. And Wardrum believes that the team would come back, but he says it's a learning process. Blyden, 11 games in, still a learning process for you?
Sadly, his school, he doesn't graduate. He keeps learning. How can he be learning or be losing all the time? That's the problem.
Let's take the quote. He says, and I quote, "It's a learning process for us. It was an opportunity to try new things, new ideas, new tactics. We started the game strongly, though. They dominated the last 20 minutes of the first half. Well, key point, try new things, new ideas, new tactics. You think we saw that against the Mexican national team on, was it Monday or Tuesday?
Well, I don't know what he did, but here's the thing for me.
Did you see any new tactic, any new strategy?
Well, there was one constant thing that happened at the end of it. No matter the strategy you bring in, it doesn't make sense. We heard Pep Guardiola talk about it against Arsenal, that he started on the wrong foot. But the reason it makes sense, and he can come out and say, oh, I did the wrong thing, then I corrected or I tried something, was at the end of it, he won. That's football for you. But from a Nigerian point of view, when you're losing and losing, and we keep counting you're losing, now it's not a problem for the Super Falcons to lose. If they lose, it seems like, it's a normal thing that's been happening. And that's the concern, and they might take it to the World Cup. But let me say this, Marizona, what I've noticed that Nigeria have been doing in recent times with our coaches. Here's it. We bring a lot of European or foreign-based coaches to the country who don't have anything at stake. What I mean is, whether they lose or they're sacked, it doesn't affect their career. It doesn't affect their reputation. That's the way I say it, because when I look at what Waldrum is doing with the national team, he's just trying things every day, knowing that it doesn't matter. Whatever the result, it doesn't matter to him.
Why shouldn't it matter? Because, this problem would head to the tables of the employers. What do they tell them as the objective? Because there's no way you'll be employed and you don't have a job description. And, of course, your target.
Does Graham Potter look like one that matters to him at the moment?
Well, Graham Potter's got a lot of backing from Todd Boehly. That's why it doesn't look like there's any problem.
That's the problem.
So the NFF, with this kind of result, still backing Randy Wardrum, does that make sense to you and me?
That's the problem. It's not even about the NFF for me. When you bring in a manager to coach the Super Eagles or the Super Falcons, let the man come with some sense of prestige. Let it be somebody that if he's losing, he gets angry. That's the point I'm making. Let it be a coach with a winning mentality. We know that he wins. You get it? For example, when Jose Mourinho or Pep Guardiola and the rest are losing, I'm not saying we should bring Jose Mourinho and Pep. We can bring them. But come on, there are coaches like that with a right demand. If you bring that level of a coach, it becomes a problem for him losing. When I listen to Waldrum and Pasero talk, this is what they're saying to me. Well, I can keep sampling options. I can keep doing, it doesn't matter probably till when we get the result. And the result never comes.
So at this point in time, Blyden, what should the NFF do?
Sack the man.
Sack Randy Wardrum.
I'm telling you.
Give me a name who comes in and replaces him.
So hard for me, especially in women's game. Yeah. So hard for me. Maybe a Nigerian.
Would you fancy a home-based coach for the national team side?
There's no problem with home base. The point is, let's say result. That's it for me. Get the result. That's it for me when it has to do with football.
Well, speaking of results, the Flying Eagles of Nigeria, they arrived in Egypt on Thursday. Arrived last night, actually, ahead of the 2023 Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations. 20 players and the officials touched down at the Cairo International Airport around 5:30 p.m. local time. And the team lodged in Egypt ahead of the Under-20 African beginning later this particular month. When the Flying Eagles will take on the Young Teranga Lions of Senegal in their first game at the Cairo International Stadium on Sunday, February 19, before taking on Egypt and Mozambique in that particular one. Well, the competition runs from February 19 to March 11. Well, winning mentality, Blyden, results, and all of that. What would be an ideal target for this crop of youngsters who are willing to take, their quality to the African stage?
Well, we know the quality of Flying Eagles and young sides from Nigeria, what they get to do. Under 20 age grade competition. It's the AFCON, and they're looking forward to playing.
It's a new look side, of course, with a new manager, Ladan Bosu. So, you compare the quality of the side and the manager as well. You think they've got anything to offer this competition, and where should be the benchmark for them?
Well, I think the benchmark is the World Cup, going to the World Cup. And
qualifying for the World Cup. That's getting to the semi-finals of this competition.
Absolutely. But not just the semi-final, giving a good performance at the World Cup. We've known Nigeria to be able to give good performances at the World Cup. But it starts from the Nations Cup. Do I trust the coach? Well, I do not know. I have my reservations with Ladan Bose over time. He's been around time and time again. I've not really seen what he's done. Yeah, the other time I heard you talk about him, that he's an experienced one.
Yeah,
well, sometimes it's not just about experience.
Been around the NPFL for quite a while, coached some teams.
Exactly. But I can't just pinpoint, especially when it has to do with coaching Nigeria. I can't pinpoint what he's done. It's just like saying Austin Aguavon has been around. Yes, he's been around, but what has he done? That's the thing for me. But when I look at under 20 side, under 17s and age grade competition, I just hope that we find the best talent. Sometimes at age grade competition, it's not just about winning competitions, but having the right talent. I always say, the best thank you I give to Austin Aguavon was discovering that generation of John Obi Mikel, Chinedu Ebuke, and the rest of them at the under 17 level. You saw the progression of these stars. That's what we're looking forward to at the age grade competition. I really hope the young stars that are participating in this competition are quite talented and ready to do the magic moving forward from the AFCON and then to the World Cup. If they get to the World Cup, then good for them. That's the biggest exposure they can get.
All right, we're looking forward to the performance of the boys, and we sincerely hope that they go there and come back with the goodies. 09022231011 and 0817624855. We'll take a few calls in and take a short break. Come back and talk about Manchester United and how they performed yesterday against Barcelona. We're streaming live on Facebook too, so head to Facebook, drop a comment, and we'll take them in the course of the show. Otherwise, head to the Planet 101 FM sports page. Go there, drop a comment, and yours truly will take them in the course of the show. Later today, and it's good to see. Well, popular Afrobeat star Pato Rankin was in the Emirates a couple of days ago to give Zinchenko his Player of the Month award for Arsenal, and it was beautiful to see Nigerians tour the world. Blyden, we should plan towards going to see one of these Premier League games before the season ends, right?
Yeah, we'll also give them an award.
For what? Right, so we take a short break, and then when we come back, we talk about the Europa League. Blyden is so funny.
Chelsea.
Surely it has to be Manchester City.
AC Milan.
I mean, look, why United will set up for life. Yimba, kind of sinners. Exclusive and up-to-date football content every Friday, 3 to 4 p.m. on Planet's 101.1 FM. Come ready to rep your club.
Nothing unites the world like football. Join the football community here on Planet 101 FM, Uyo.
yesterday, did it?
Yeah, it feels like a loss. I think we done well to get back into the game. The first half was probably a little bit in favour of them. But, I think we stayed calm, we stayed composed, and we tried to create chances when we could. And, in the second half, we scored 2 goals in quick succession, and we felt in control of the outcome. But they're a good team with top players, and they managed to get an equal.
Did you have more of an edge after half time? Did it feel that way?
I just think
All right, so Marcus Rashford there talking, Blyden, after the game yesterday. Talking of after United played a 2-2 draw against Barca. All right, so Blyden and Rashford talking after the game yesterday, but let's put the story in context so we can have a conversation. Well, the story is that Erik ten Hag held United character, determination as they went on to get a victory, a 2-2 draw rather, against Barcelona to leave the Europa League playoff tie in a finely poised manner ahead of the second leg. Having met previously in 2 Champions League finals, both of which Barca won, the sides are trying to reach those heady heights again. This encounter at the Nou Camp in Europe's second league competition was another step on that. And it was good to see Rashford put up a fine performance. The goal scorers for United with Rashford. Couldn't score an own goal, by the way. For Barcelona, former Chelsea man Marcos Alonso scored, and Rafinha scored the second goal for Barca in that particular one. But Blyden, holistically, before we talk about the talking point, what did you make of this game? This should have been a UEFA Champions League final encounter, right?
Yeah, it should have been. They took it to the Europa League. And sadly, it's not just the main Europa League, it's the playoff.
Yeah.
Well, Mourinho did call some of those teams the failed sharks.
The failed sharks of the Champions League.
So you look at Barcelona. But for me, it was a test of who's good. Show me how good you are. You say you're Barcelona, you've bought a couple of players, you're playing, you're leading with points, 11 points in the La Liga now. And from this other angle is Manchester United. There have been massive improvements in the side. Erik ten Hag brought in a couple of players, Martinez, Anthony. Guess what? Show us what you can do with a decent European side. That was basically what it was. And we saw the momentum at different stages for the side. Barca trying to prove a point, play the tiki-taka style. And then Manchester United, they bring the all-round play into it. The crossing the ball, the running, the marking, Casemiro returning for them. I think both teams played quite well. But disappointingly, from a Barca point of view, it had to be a 2-2 because they thought probably they'll win it at home. Yeah. I never can tell what can happen going to Manchester
Who should be more happy with this draw, Blyden? United or Barcelona?
Well, I think it was a fair draw for both sides. Disappointed from a Barca point of view because you look at it, they're playing home. United would look at it and say probably we had a decent performance. We're leading before the equalizer came in 70-something minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe we take this performance back home. When we get to Old Trafford, we show that dominance. But let me talk about one player. It has to be Rashford for me. I saw the goal he scored. Marizona, naturally, you don't get to score those kind of goals. You ought to be in form to score it. And that was a goal out of form. It wasn't Rashford who scored that goal. It was a form in him.
Nice. All right, well, let's talk about this Barca team. But before we talk about Barca, let's take a few calls in before we listen to Marcos Alonso frustrated by the draw against United yesterday. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Arizona. Good afternoon, Blyden. This is Pastor Chief Sylvester calling in from you.
Pastor, you should be happy, right?
Why shouldn't I am happy. The rejuvenated Manchester United. That is to tell you, any team that has a dismal performance, it is a coach. It is not the player. You know, things we have been lost since we play this kind of football, especially in Barcelona. Barcelona know how to beat us, even when Carlos was around. Don't forget, the same Barca beat us in 2 Champions League finals from us.
Yeah.
They have beaten us. So to play in their own home.
You think Man United can still qualify for the next round of the competition with these results, right?
Sure. we can push out a draw that we will win them in our home.
All right. Thank you very much, Pastor.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Marizana, good afternoon to you. Yeah, my brother, I came to remind people that Manchester United is not the Manchester United of yesterday. So we've been able to pick our form little by little, gradual by gradual. You know, I want to quickly say that Real Madrid, they played very well in their domain. But I want to believe that if that was the game plan of my coach, we're supposed to come back and dominate, score some few goals, defend the goal, and qualify for the next one. I want to see my team going higher. People are saying, you know, Europa League is something else and all that. But come to think of, big boys are playing it now. See Barcelona, see Manchester United, all the other big guys. So I'm happy that
you still qualify as big boys.
But what do you want to? Are they small boys? No, you can't say they are big boys. It's just a matter of time now. You understand?
Right.
Yeah, law of renation returns setting in their team, and that is where they are, and they are picking up also gradually. They are on top of their league as I'm talking to you.
So you think United can still qualify with this 2-2 draw?
If we can score 2 goals away, what stop us scoring only 1 and defend it and qualify?
All right.
So I think we are going to give them the base of our showcase. Thank you very much, Abimi.
Thank you very much, Tenere, for talking to us. Well, the United fans are very happy and delighted with this performance, but there were so many talking points Blyden from the game yesterday. One was the officiating. We'll talk about the officiating after this call. Welcome to Thank you very much, Top Gun. I wanted to ask if you think that was a penalty. I do want to call us back if you can. Well, Blyden, so much talking points from an officiating perspective. First up, the Barca penalty appeal, a penalty for you?
I wouldn't want to say it was a penalty. It wasn't.
Really?
It wasn't.
Let's talk about the tackle, Kunde's tackle on Rashford. You think that should have been a straight red card,
I think it should have been a red card. Last man, that tackle. No, the referee thought probably it was an intentional tackle.
What was the the thinking, the thought of the referee when he saw that incident? Because first up, Kunde is the final man.
Yeah.
And then there's something in the rule that says once you obstruct a goal-bound move as a final man, it's a straight red card. So, I mean, that should come in. That kind of rule should come in situations like that.
I think here's how they looked at it, especially in a jam-packed Camp Nou, where you have over 80,000 fans shouting and cheering the team. I think at some point probably saw it as a 50-50 challenge, and then that collision happened. But Rashford was slightly ahead. For me, it was a red card. From that standpoint, I could understand the disappointment from Erik ten Hag that demanded that it should have been a red card. Probably, if there was a red card in that game, United would have come up victorious.
So that penalty incident for you is not enough to be a penalty, right?
No, it's not.
All right, let's hear from this caller. Good afternoon, welcome. Yes, welcome. Name and location.
My name is Peter, representing from IK.
All right, Peter, welcome. All right, Peter, please do want to call us back. Let's talk to Victor. Welcome, by the way. Oh, you just came to say hi. All right, so well, Blyden, let's listen to Mark, who recently lost his dad, sadly. He was a performer for Barca yesterday, scored a goal too to give his side some level of cushion, but was not enough as Barca played a 2-2 draw, and the man was quite frustrated by Barca's performance yesterday. Marcos.
During most of the 90 minutes, but in two chances they had, they scored 2 goals, and well, a bit disappointed for the draw, but another 90 to play, and we will go to Manchester to get the win.
Right, so Blyden, one of the stones that the builders at Chelsea rejected has become a chief cornerstone at Barca. What do you make of Alonso's performance for Barca since making a switch from Chelsea to the new camp?
Well, quite good, improved. Here's why for me. I think it depends on the structure of the team. The beautiful thing about Alonso is a decent footballer. He knows how to play ball. But at Chelsea, biggest problem would be
he was one of the most misunderstood, one of the most insulted players when he was at Chelsea.
Yeah,
I used to go to viewing centers, and once they see the Saturday lineup, there was Alonso. Chelsea fans would leave the viewing center.
There were also fans who really love Alonso.
Really?
One thing is, don't let Alonso get close to your 18-yard box.
Yeah, he
hits the shot straight into the net.
Definitely.
That was the beauty of it. He had a lot of plus, also had a lot of minus. Here's the thing for him. The thing is this: he was so weak defensively, and at some time you look at the weakness, that defensive deficiency. It became a problem. He couldn't add up with his attacking strength, because sometimes all you need in big games is to be able to be resolute. That's why I love the likes of James in Chelsea. You know why? Because he goes forward, he does magic.
And he's effective in doing that.
He does magic for you.
Definitely.
But I love the system at Barcelona, because it's not all about running at Barcelona. It's about the passing of the ball.
Holding the ball.
So the picking up on his strength more than his weakness.
Absolutely. Good afternoon. Yes, welcome. Oh, Dominic.
He's not improving. The young man, for Chelsea, so much in years. But them again. Alonso is not on that. Lampard, but which because they of having a good number.
And Marco Correa, Benchio, your top. Just talk to me. Talk to us. Talk to us.
Very tactical.
Who would you?
I would have preferred Alonso.
I agree with him, Mari. Here's it.
Thank you.
That's why Alonso doesn't go often to injury. Yeah. He's not an injured player.
Definitely.
You see, what's the name now?
Correa.
Ben Chilwell.
Yeah.
Ben Chilwell, decent player, but always injured. That's the problem.
Should we do the comparison, Blyden? I think that'll be after the score. Good afternoon. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, Peter. Let's go ahead.
Amen. To make a change this year. And they can do.
All right, Peter.
He said they can do it at Frankie. Come on, they have Casemiro.
That's a conversation. Oh, Blyden,
have Casemiro.
Who would you prefer, Chelsea right now? Marcos Alonso. Let's keep off Cucurella. Cucurella has been a disaster.
Well, you can't help it.
To Chelsea.
He's part of the team.
Well, just to be fair.
It's just like Cucurella. The biggest problem with him is he doesn't defend well. He doesn't attack well. So it's just there.
But a lot of people have been talking about, at the time when he was linked with City. And most people think that if he had gone to City, he would have performed better, because City kind of played to his strength. City played the possession-based football, and then City have got a lot of bodies around, they pass the ball around, and then you'd always see somebody to pass the ball to. Cucurella sometimes drives forward, and then the only person he sees is Mikhailo Mudryk, basically, and all of that. But Cucurella at Chelsea, Chilwell at Chelsea, and Marcos Alonso, who would you prefer at Chelsea? Start one, bench one, sell one, like
well, a fit Chilwell. I prefer a fit Chilwell.
To start?
Yeah, if it's fit.
Who stays on the bench for you?
Alonso, definitely. But here's why. There's always a reason for anything.
Definitely.
I do not think that Cucurella is a bad player. I think he's trying to settle at Chelsea. First season, you're bound to have those difficulties. Remember the first season for Kai Havertz? Everyone said he's a bad player. He can't even run. Though some people still say Kai Havertz isn't that decent. But once in a while, he pops up and delivers Chelsea. And some people now agree, he's a decent player.
Well, the thing with Chelsea fans is that they're expecting reliability from Kai Havertz. He's not reliable. He plays 25 games and scores 2 goals.
When you say he's not reliable, he's not a striker.
Oh, well, that's
he's doing a yeoman's job for Chelsea, playing in the role he's not supposed to play.
Where should he?
Delivering better than the strikers.
What's the best position for Kai Havertz, Blyden?
A support striker, natural.
A number 10 or just a support striker?
Support striker.
Chelsea don't play a support striker, sadly. They play a number 10, they play somebody who cries the ball from the midfield to the attack, like what Joe Felix has been doing for Chelsea since joining. That's what Chelsea wants.
But basically, Joe Felix has not been doing that. He's not been playing number 10. Can he do that?
Not entirely number 10, but he's been that link. He's been one playing directly behind the forward man.
Striker.
The forward man.
He's doing support striker.
So you prefer Joe Felix there over... You prefer Kai Havertz there over Joe Felix?
Ideally, Joe Felix is supposed to be a striker. What's he doing supporting? That's the thing.
Well, Joe Felix has played as a winger, has played as an attacker.
That's his biggest problem. He doesn't have any position in football.
Yeah, but
he's basically doing everything and not mastering any. But that's the problem with Joe Felix.
Right, so placing Kai Havertz and Joe Felix in the same pedestal right now as a supporting striker, how would you prefer to start for Chelsea?
It depends on what I want, but in a typical Chelsea team, Kai Havertz will always be there at the moment. Here's the thing. A lot of players have not settled at Chelsea. They don't have a striker. Right now, it ought to be Kai Havertz somewhere doing it. In big games, see, the biggest problem with Kai Havertz from a Chelsea point of view is this. When you play that 3 at the back and that middle packed team, 5 in the middle, and probably up front, you put Kai Havertz up front, and you're playing against smaller teams, it cannot work. You know why? Oh, you have a call. Let's do with the call first.
All right. Blyden says let's do with the call. Good afternoon. Welcome. Yeah. Already. Oh, well, good afternoon. Welcome. All right.
City is coming to them, and I pray that to stay so that we will go to the thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, and God bless you too. Victor Watercall, it's good to have you. Well, Mr. Watercall is back. Well, it was not the only game we saw yesterday in the Europa League. We saw Ajax playing a goalless draw against Union Berlin. Salzburg defeated Roma by a goal to nil. Shakhtar Donetsk defeated Rennes by 2-1. Monaco traveled to Germany and got a 3-2 win against Bayer Leverkusen. Juventus played a 1-1 draw against Nantes. Sevilla defeated Eindhoven PSV by 3-0. And Sporting Lisbon played a 1-1 draw against FC Midtjylland. So taking calls, head to Facebook in a moment or two from now. But let's take you through some interesting matchups expected in the Premier League later this particular weekend. Well, for Arsenal, the chase to returning to winning ways, having dropped points in the last 3 games, just 1 win in their 1 draw round in the last 4 games. Does not look like a good record for them. And they take an Aston Villa next. Let's look at the games expected in Premier League later this weekend. Later tomorrow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games expected for tomorrow, 18th of February 2023. Lunchtime kickoff, Aston Villa take on Arsenal by 1:30 p.m. Brentford take on Crystal Palace by 3. Same time, Brighton take on Fulham. Chelsea welcome a struggling Southampton. It's a battle of 2 different strugglers. I wonder which struggler would win. Everton take on Leeds United. Lazio continues later on Sunday. Manchester United take on Leicester City. Tottenham will take on West Ham United. Well, I'm Blyden a few talking points from there, but let's talk to Victor first. Victor.
Hello, good afternoon, Mariz.
Welcome, Victor.
Yeah, good afternoon, Clarence. I'm sorry, that's my brother. It's always a great time and moment. Now, let me talk about starting from the NPFL because they say charity begins at home.
Absolutely.
You see, this is even the likes of the under 20 that they can. I wanted to kickstart the match that the under 20 side that will play. Let me wish the team all the best, because that's why our MPFL must be competitive to create their own best players. And let me also thank Akwa. Manzana, this weekend, let me believe that Graham Potter must do his best, because I am a Chelsea fan, so I really need well for my team. Let him give Chelsea at least a victory for us to use and carry ourselves along. I wish my team all the best. That's my thing. Thank you, President.
Oh, thank you very much, Victor. Your thoughts are quite appreciated. Right, so before we talk about the injury situation in the respective big clubs, Blyden, match day 23, if I'm not mistaken, in the Premier League, some interesting matchups. What's your pick of the bunch and why?
Well, first of all, I want to see how Arsenal would recover from that loss. It's been a chain of bad play in 3 games. Absolutely. I want to see that recovery, especially when it's going to Villa Park, playing against Aston Villa. It could be quite difficult.
With the new manager, Unai Emery has been trying to see how we can stabilize a sinking ship. They're not the best of teams, but of course...
They're not the worst of teams either.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've been decent since Unai Emery came to Aston Villa, comparatively to what happened when Gerrard was in charge of that team. So for me, it's a little here, a little there for them. A difficult ground to play, especially when they come out en masse to give you what you deserve. But here's the thing for me. Other games that I'm looking forward to would also be Newcastle-Liverpool. Yeah. I want to see how Liverpool will recover. He had a decent win against Everton. Now they're facing a decent Newcastle.
Newcastle are not Everton. And for me, I think this is one of the very wrong times to face Newcastle, because they're trying to see how they can stamp their feet at that top 4 position, and any team that comes through, they want to defeat them.
Well, it's quite difficult for Newcastle to, in recent times, have some certain draws, comparatively, not having the result they're supposed to have. Yeah. Before now, I think they're beginning to separate the boys from the men, the big lads in the top 3, and Newcastle probably beginning to find themselves maybe at the 4th level, but it would be a game for Liverpool at Newcastle.
Definitely.
Also, Chelsea. Struggling boys against Southampton. Southampton are seeing how they can leave the bottom of the table, though the visiting Chelsea at Stamford Bridge.
Now, look at Chelsea with the way they perform this season. Look at Southampton. Do you think there's any chasm between Chelsea and Southampton heading to this game?
Well, I think this should be the match. That's what I can say. This should be the match for Graham Potter. If he can win this one, then there's no point.
Fulham was the match. What's the team they played in the Champions League? Who did they play against in the Champions League? Dortmund. We said it was a match.
Come on, those teams are better than Chelsea these days.
So now
we're talking about
the same Jesus Christ. Good afternoon, welcome.
Hello, Mari, good afternoon.
Welcome.
I'm Blyden. Mari, please, I want to give a little opinion on these fans attack the.
You didn't tell me.
Johnson. Okay, I'm Johnson.
Johnson.
I'm calling from here.
All right, Johnson.
Please, this your advert, the sport fan attack, this fan attack that they will be mentioning the club. I've not been hearing Liverpool, which is the most successful club in England. Please do something about that one.
Yes, but send me a voice note of saying you're a Liverpool fan and put it there.
As a copite. Then I want to say something about, I want you to update me on Luis Diaz injury, and then finally, I want to say something about the current situation at hand now. Like I normally say, Arsenal can never win the Premier League with reasons. If you check, if you check 2018 to 19 season and 2017 to 18, Liverpool had a decent squad, but they never had that squad depth to win the Premier League. Arsenal squad depth to win.
So we talk to other callers.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, so let's talk about some interesting stories. Blyden, before we talk about something else, let's go to the Facebook page and take some comments from there. Well, from Amagunze in Enugu State. Well, from Sports page, 7 new comments. Jamzi Joshua says, good afternoon, Sports Co. I so much congratulate my team, Manchester United, for a great performance they showed at the Nou Camp yesterday. I wish they had held on to that 1-2 scoreline, but definitely it didn't turn out to be the way. But kudos to them. Fetoski says, good afternoon, Sports Co. We United are not happy for the draw yesterday, but the ref robbed us. For Barca, meanwhile, come next week at Old Trafford, Barca received the beating of their life. GGMU. MZ King says, I wasn't happy for my team yesterday. Barca is not a team to be scared of anymore. No Messi and the rest of the big players. We're supposed to have won the game, but Old Trafford will decide. For that man calling himself Warehouse, we have seen enough of his inability. I think he can leave United before the season ends. Warehouse, Vegas. Oh, see. Eugene Joseph says, congrats to Akwa United for their win yesterday. Samuel Ben John, he says, Rashford's performance was outstanding yesterday, likewise Rafinha. But anyways, I have no business with Thursday night football. I wish my team good luck as we take on Newcastle during the weekend. Liverpool would never walk alone. On Wednesday says, good afternoon, my name is Wednesday. Please update me on Manchester City news. Victor says, I really enjoyed the football yesterday of my darling team. Barca won't survive next week at Old Trafford. Any update on Qatari investors? Tell me about anything. Yeah.
Is there anything from Patowski?
There's no, but here I saw Fetowski.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it says he was robbed. United was robbed, rather. No, he wasn't robbed.
Always a decent name.
Definitely, I like the name. Well, let's head back to the phone lines. Good afternoon, welcome. Football fans, good to have you.
Good afternoon, sport analyst.
Stacy.
Easy on the line. Yeah, let me quickly comment on our Arsenal fans who were so eager to win a Premier League. I have spoken to a lot of them that Premier League is not a one-day game winning of matches because of what Liverpool are passing through on many occasions against City. So this is a reality for Arsenal fans to go back to the drawing board and look at they are going to win a Premier League when City is concerned. When Liverpool are fighting a lot of times, they couldn't succeed. So they should go back and look for it. And let me comment on Liverpool taking Newcastle United. I hear Jockey Club would go the same formation against Everton, Henderson and Fabinho in the midfield. And either Gravity
all right, it's easy.
Complete the center three.
All right.
I think Liverpool defeat Newcastle at St. James Park. Thank you for having me.
Gracias. Blyden, before we talk about transfers, some injury stories. For us now, Gabriel Jesus has a knee problem to return later next month. Thomas Partey is set to return later this weekend. Faces a late fitness test. Amos Smith-Rowe returns this weekend as well. Mohamed Elneny has no return date, sadly. For Chelsea, Armando Broja is out for the season. Pulisic is out, returns next month. N'Golo Kante is out to return next month. Sterling should return later this weekend. Ben Chilwell should return this weekend too. Edward Mendy, a recent hand injury. Well, no like Seri. I don't know if he's listening. Edward Mendy has no return date, sadly. For Liverpool, it's quite a long list. Cut to 5 now. Calvin Ramsey has a knee problem, returns in June. Thiago Alcantara returns next month. Luis Diaz will return later next month. Ibrahima Konate to return next weekend. And Arthur, since joining, has not played competitively for Liverpool to return later next week. For City's just John Stones with a thigh problem, set to return later next month. United has got loads of injury concerns. Anthony Martial, Scott McTominay, Anthony Dos Santos, Carlos Casemiro is suspended for this weekend's game, and Eriksen all out for United. Let's talk about transfers, and the biggest one is that Liverpool, Manchester City, and Manchester United are monitoring Mason Mount's situation at Chelsea. Well, the man has lost ground at Chelsea. He's no more a key performer, a regular player for Chelsea, and he should be looking for his way out. And ESPN are saying that Liverpool, City, and United want to get him. Which of these three teams are serious, Blyden?
Well, I don't know, because at some point, Mason Mount was the golden boy of Chelsea Football Club.
He's no more.
Yeah, well, he's no more. Enzo Fernandez these days, and
Mikhailo
Modric. But I think he's a decent player that should stick with the club. That's the way I think.
With Chelsea.
Yeah.
But right now, look at the competition for starting shirt. He's not guaranteed regular playing time anymore.
Well, makes you sure that he'll get regular playing time elsewhere.
Imagine if he goes to Liverpool.
It might still be difficult for him.
I think so.
Cody Gakpo got there strongly.
Well, Liverpool, not about the performance, but playing games regularly. Because despite Cody's struggles, he plays games.
Well, there's hope. But here's the thing about it: when you're playing games and the results are not forthcoming, after a while, you go to the bench. They try other people. That's basically it. But here's the thing: for Mason Mount, for me, I think the problem for Mason Mount is a mental fatigue that's coming in. here's what happens to players, Marizona. At some point, I think Mason Mount was really hyped. I've been one person that really talked about it. His developmental process did not follow the right leather. He was just pushed up there and sold to the whole world immediately, even when he didn't get to that pick. That's it for me. And he plays a lot of games. And when you play so many games like that, the good and the bad ones, at the end of it, the fatigue will come in. I think he's going through that process now. Mental fatigue, maturity, fatigue that's come on him. I think he'll get better anytime soon. Decent player from our standpoint, talented. The thing is, it all started with Frank Lampard. Lampard saw Mason Mount and saw a young Lampard in him and decided to use him game after game after game. I think that the lad needs some rest. He'll definitely get back to the best of Mason Mount.
Our final caller for the day. Good afternoon, welcome. Yes. Dominic, let's do that 30 seconds. Yes.
I want to say because Chelsea decided to.
All right, Dominic, that's it. Thank you. Okay, Dominic.
I'm happy for the first time Dominic is with me on this one.
Yeah.
Then I've been with Blyden.
So today, ladies and gentlemen, it was beautiful having you as a part of the show. Thank you very much for being a part. Thank you, Blyden.
Yeah.
What's your plan for the weekend, by the way?
Well, I can't think about it, but I'll check my roster.
All right. Well, I'll be back again tomorrow, sadly. Well, at 7:30 to 8 in the morning and 12:30 to 2 later in the afternoon. So do you want to enjoy the rest of the day's broadcast? That comes through for the news update at 4 o'clock, and there's a lot to be expected. Well, by the way, it's Friday, so there's Club 101 later tonight. So do you want to stick around and enjoy loads of content for your listening delight right here on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. My name is Mariz and I'm out. Have a lovely weekend. Ciao, ciao. Adios.